Today, we're going to be taking a look at the ServiceGuru Reports add-on for ServiceM8. This add-on makes it really simple for you as a business to easily take the data out of your system and create insightful reports and to keep track of your key performance indicators. So to get started today, let's jump into our add-on section and move into our reports. The first page we land on when opening this add-on is our dashboard. This page makes it really easy to look at your main insights all from one location without clicking into different reports. As you can see, we currently have a few different graphs added here, and these can be added or removed to your liking depending on what you think is most useful. But we'll go over how to do this a bit later. While we're on this page, it's also worth noting that you can hover over individual dates to get a bit more information about them. Lastly, this dashboard is currently set to showing data for the last 7 days, but if you want to change this, we can click on this drop down and change it to either the last 14 days or the last 30 days. One other thing I quickly want to mention is that this account has limited data to work with, so many of the reports won't have much to look at and will look a little bit flat. Now that we've talked about our dashboard, let's look at how we can create a new report. There's a few different areas in this add-on where we can create a new report. One would be right above where we were just looking. Another would be in the My Reports section, but the easiest is probably in this top left-hand corner where it says Create New Report. So let's go ahead and click on that. There's going to be countless different types of reports you can build depending on what you want to track as a business. For today's example, we'll create a job breakdown report so we can see how many quotes we have for a client, as well as how many jobs have been completed, as well as unsuccessful, and finally, how much we invoiced on those jobs. So the first thing we need to do is give our report a name. So let's make it Job Breakdown by Client. Secondly, we need to select our report type. As you can see, we have a drop down of different types of reports that we're able to make, and each of these will show different selections of metrics that we'll be able to select when creating our final report. So if you can't find what you're looking for, it's possible that it's under one of the other report types. As we want to do a breakdown report based on a client, let's go ahead and click Clients and Sites. Next up, we're going to be able to select which columns we want to see in our final report. So to do this, let's go ahead and press Select Your Columns. From here, you'll get a drop-down list of all the available metrics that you can select. So for this one, we want to go with number of jobs, number of quotes, number of completed, number of unsuccessful, and finally the total invoice amount. From here we can just click off this. As you can see below, we're going to be able to see a report preview of what's going to be in our final report. If you want to change the name of the column, we can also do that by pressing on the pencil button and changing the display name. From here we can also add a total to this column, so let's go ahead and do this for all of our metrics. Great, now that we're happy with that, let's go ahead and press Create. So as you can see, a new report has been created, and you may have noticed that this report looks a little bit different to the reports we saw in the dashboard earlier, as this is a table rather than a graph. Currently, not all report types are graphable, but this feature will be rolled out in a future release. Now that we have our report, let's look at how we can filter and search for data within our report. Firstly, this report type gives us the option to filter by client, as you can see in the top here. We're currently set to the Big Old Bakery, but if we want to change which client this shows for, we can click on this drop down and select one of the other ones. Next up, we can change which date period we want this report to show for. It's currently looking from the 1st of June in 2021, but if we click on this, we can change our date. Let's go back to the beginning of 2020. From here, we can go ahead and press Go to update it. As you can see, our data has now been updated. And let's just move back to one of the other reports that has a bit more data in it. Below this, we have our custom search builder. I'm going to leave this one for now, and we'll touch on it when we have a look at one of our other example reports. Below this, we're going to be able to see our options for copying the information or downloading this report. So as you can see here, we have a copy button. We have 3 different file types that we can download, a CSV, Excel, or PDF. So let's go ahead and have a look at a PDF to see what it looks like. So as you can see, we've got a download. So let's open that up. And as you can see here, we've got all the information that was in our report now in this PDF document. So it's very easy if we want to store this information for later use. Let's move back into our add-on. And the last thing we want to look at here is column visibility. If we decide we don't want to see any of these columns when looking at this report, we can just click on this and hide them by clicking on each of the columns. So if, for example, we didn't want to see the number of unsuccessful jobs, we could just click on that and that column will no longer be visible. Lastly, we also have a search box here to help us find the information we need. Let's take a quick look at some of our other example reports so we can have a look at some other features. So to look at the custom search builder, let's go into our jobs by category. And from here, let's select Add Condition. From here, we're going to be able to set up specific conditions to help us filter our data. So let's assume we only want to see data for new installs here. As you can see, we've got a category called new install. So let's select this and let's change it to category. From here we can change the condition. As I only want to see data for new installs, let's just say equals, and for the value we want it to say new install. As you can see here, our data has now been filtered to new installs only. On top of this, we can also add multiple conditions that need to be met if we'd like to. So firstly, let's go ahead and press add condition. You can see on the left it's currently set to and. If we want to change this, we can click on this and change it to or. This would mean that we could either meet the top criteria or our next set of criteria. So let's assume we want to look at new installs, as well as one of the other categories. So let's click on this. Once again, select category, equals. Up here we have new install. And for the second one, let's just go repairs. So now we'll be able to see the new installs as well as the repairs. It's worth noting that the filters we change at the top, as well as our custom search builder and our column visibility, will all remain unchanged when leaving and coming back to this page. So if we click onto another report quickly, and then move back to jobs by category, you can see we still have the exact same filter set up. This makes it really easy to set up specific reports and make sure the information is always there when you need it. We've now seen both table as well as graph reports, so let's take a quick look at a map report. So let's move into map stuff. As you can see here, we can also track things on a map. A great example of this would be to use assets, as it will display not only the asset location, but also an image of the asset, making it very easy to see what the asset is, as well as where it's located at this moment. From here, it's worth noting that we can also add these reports to our dashboard by pressing the Show Map on Dashboard button. So if we press on that, and move back into our dashboard, you'll be able to see our map has now been added. The next thing we want to look at is our My Reports section. If you ever want to make any changes or delete any reports for any reason, this is the area you would do it in. There's one last thing I want to touch on, and that's the Request a Custom Report button. Once we click on this, if you don't already have the ServiceGuru support add-on added, you'll have to go ahead and do this first. The reason we do this is so we can create a support ticket and have the team work on the projects for you. So if you need to do this, go ahead and press Install ServiceGuru Support, follow the prompts to add the support add-on, then make your way back to this page where your window should now look like this. While we've done the best to include a range of report types you can create, you may have some custom reports which you're not able to build. If this is the case, this is the place to request a custom report be built for you. As you can see on the screen, it's important to give us as much information as you can about what you need displayed in your report. As well as this, we need an Excel spreadsheet with the column headers you require and sample data if possible. This will allow the team to understand your requirements and quote you accordingly. After a cost has been agreed, the report will be built and available to you on the left-hand side. And that's it for the reports add-on. While we only covered one small example today, you have the tools to create a countless number of different reports for different sets of data within this add-on. As mentioned earlier, if you do find that you need something more customized, please let us know using the request section we just spoke about. We know this add-on will be extremely useful with keeping on top of all your reporting needs, and we really hope you enjoy it.